Good morning, I'm Jared Coote. An annual koala count will be held at the Narrandera Koala Regeneration Committee later on this month. Riverina animal lovers are being encouraged to head down to the Narrandera Flora and Fauna Reserve on the 17th of April to help count the number of koalas in the area. The Greens New South Wales Animal Welfare spokesperson Dr Marine Faruqi has called on the state government to investigate media reports that live cats were dumped into freezers at the Wagga City Council Animal Shelter. And in sport, Leeton has gone through the Southern Inland Rugby Union pre-season tournament undefeated. Here's the weather, and in the regional centres, sunny conditions in the central west today, a top of 32 degrees in Dubbo. Blue skies right across the Riverina, a high of 32 in Wagga. Similar conditions on the way for Canberra and Goulburn, with the temperature approaching 29 in the nation's capital. A fine day right across the south coast. Hello again, I'm Jared Coote. The Greens New South Wales Animal Welfare spokesperson Dr Marine Faruqi has called on the state government to investigate media reports that live cats were dumped into freezers at the Wagga City Council Animal Shelter. The state government needs to take more responsibility for monitoring pounds for animal cruelty and to reduce the number of animals going into pounds, according to Marine. Let's take a look now at some news regarding koalas. And the Narrandera Koala Regeneration Committee is holding its annual koala count this month. Riverina animal lovers are being encouraged to head to the Narrandera Flora and Fauna Reserve on the 17th of April to help count the number of koalas in the region. In sport, Leeton has gone through the Southern Inland Rugby Union pre-season tournament undefeated as one of only 4 first-grade teams to compete. Here's a look at the weather. In a warm day in Wagga today, a top of 32 degrees. Blue skies on the way for Cootamundra. Hello again, I'm Jared Coote. A number of changes will be brought in immediately at the Glenfield Road Animal Shelter in response to widely reported allegations of animal cruelty. General Manager of the City of Wagga, Alan Eldridge, has announced Council's Manager of Environment and Recreation Services will take over management of the shelter from senior staff in the interim while all issues are thoroughly investigated. They will also seek validation of the facility from a third party, implement the recommendations of a recent services review, investigate an automatic watering system for kennels, and rectify issues with in-floor heating. Meantime, the reports involving the pound have sparked calls from the Greens for the state government to investigate these particular reports. Animal welfare spokesperson Dr Marine Faruqi believes the government also needs to take more responsibility for monitoring pounds and to reduce the number of animals going into them. To sport now, and Leeton has gone through the Southern Inland Rugby Union pre-season tournament undefeated as one of only 4 first-grade teams to compete. 8 teams will make up the new look competition this season. Here's a look at the weather for you now on the satellite, and showers are expected along the Queensland coast and inland today. New South Wales and the ACT seeing rain. Dry conditions are expected in the far west of New South Wales. On the national map, mostly sunny in Brisbane today, reaching a high of 29 degrees. Blue skies on the way for Sydney, a top of 27. Canberra's partly cloudy and 29. Rain headed for Hobart, a top of 25. Overcast in Darwin. To the regional centres, and sunny conditions in the central west, a top of 32 in Dubbo, slightly cooler, and 26 in Orange. Blue skies right across the Riverina, 32 in Wagga. Similar conditions on the way for Goulburn, a fine day across the south coast. Wagga's outlook, possible showers tomorrow, blue skies for the rest of the week, a top of 31 expected on Wednesday. I'll have more news, sport and weather next hour. Good afternoon, I'm Jared Coote. The proposed Murray-Darling Basin School for Orange, Bendigo and Wagga has stalled in the lead up to the federal budget announcement in May. Minister for Rural Health Fiona Nash says the government is committed to increasing the number of doctors in regional areas, but the school is still being considered. La Trobe and Charles Sturt University have joined forces to ensure graduates would choose rural practice after their training and say they will continue to make the school a reality. The road safety remuneration order will not commence until further order from the federal court following a last-minute application by the National Road Transport Association. And it's welcome news for local truck drivers here in the Riverina. The order was set to commence on Monday after the tribunal announced last Friday it would not delay the order. However, a last-minute application from the Transport Association saw a delay handed down by the federal court. It would have seen freight prices for owner-operators increase by 350%, putting many family-run businesses at risk. To sport, and a standout performance for Wagga's Dougal Howard on debut was a shining light in an otherwise disappointing round for Port Adelaide across the weekend in the AFL. Let's turn to the weather now on the satellite, and showers along the Queensland coast and inland today. New South Wales and the ACT seeing rain. Dry conditions are expected in the far west. Here's our national map, and mostly sunny in Brisbane today. Blue skies for Sydney and Melbourne, it's up at 27 in Sydney, 29 in Melbourne. Rain headed for Hobart, a top of just 25. Blue skies and sunny conditions up in Cairns. Checking the regional centres and sunny conditions in the central west today. It's up at 26 in Orange, warmer and 32 in Dubbo. Blue skies right across the Riverina, a top of 31 in Young. Similar conditions on the way for Canberra and Goulburn. The outlook for Wagga, possible showers tomorrow. Blue skies for the rest of the week, a top of 31 on Wednesday. Good evening, I'm Jared Coote. The proposed Murray-Darling Basin School for Wagga has stalled in the lead up to the federal budget announcement. Minister for Rural Health Fiona Nash says the school is still being considered. The road safety remuneration order will not commence until further order from the federal court following a last-minute application, a move welcomed by Riverina truck drivers. And Wagga local Dougal Howard starred despite a Port Adelaide loss on the weekend. Possible showers on the way for Wagga, a top of 31 degrees, a chance of rain in Cootamundra, a top of 32. Good evening. The Glenfield Road Animal Shelter will experience a significant shake-up in response to widely reported allegations of animal cruelty. General Manager of the City of Wagga, Alan Eldridge, says Council's Manager of Environment and Recreation Services will take over management temporarily of the shelter. Meantime, the reports involving the Wagga Pound have sparked calls from the Greens for the state government to investigate these particular reports. And in sport, Leeton won the Southern Inland Rugby Union pre-season tournament undefeated across the weekend. Possible showers in Wagga tomorrow, a top of 31 degrees. I'll have more next hour. Good evening, I'm Jared Coote. Minister for Rural Health Fiona Nash says the proposed Murray-Darling Basin School, which includes a campus in Wagga, is still being considered. The road safety remuneration order will not commence until further order from the federal court following a last-minute application, a move welcomed by Riverina truck drivers. And in sport, Wagga local Dougal Howard starred despite a Port Adelaide loss across the weekend. Possible showers on the way for Wagga tomorrow, a top of 31 degrees, a chance of rain in Cootamundra, 32. I'll have more news, sport and weather for you next hour.